What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 32 of the Grips Poker Training Show, where we teach you how to get stacking. Today on the show, we're going to be doing a six tabling session. Nice little change of pace, a little bit more action, a little bit more fun. And we're going to get straight to the action because I believe that there is a big hand going on right now. What's up, Paul?
Hello.
Wow, pocket queens, top set. Not a bad start.
Yeah. After the ace king.
Well, that's fun. The chips like jump to you.
It's weird. It's my first day on Unibet, and my shoulder's broken, so if I'm gonna be looking weird, that's it.
It's okay. So what made you decide to try this site out?
um, After my roll got released back from Full Tilt, I was just kinda, I don't know, I was like doing comparisons, and the whole rig thing just seemed a little bit disappointing. Plus, it was just reg heaven. Everyone was trying to get their deal me in bonus, you know. So I just saw regs everywhere and all the tables. So I just like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
And then I just started looking around, and people said this was really fishy. Except they forgot to mention initially that it was all these anonymous tables. So the HUD stats are only for this one session.
Okay. I actually think that's not too bad though, because a lot of times you'll get players who they'll play one style for like 2 weeks and then they'll get some coaching and they'll start to play differently. And like you'll still have the old stats of the way they played and not make the adjustments for the new way they're playing. So the fact that you just get a clear picture on how they're playing this particular session is pretty good. I guess like if you're only going to play for like 15 or 20 minutes though, that doesn't really make too much sense.
Yeah, oh, you definitely want to get a decent session in, or else just the stats are pretty much completely useless.
Yeah.
You can't really tell someone's style from 50 hands, I think.
Yeah. Unless they're really bad. I know that like
Pretty much, yeah.
I've been told it takes like hundreds or even thousands of hands to determine that someone's a good player, but it only takes like one mistake for you to identify someone as being a bad player. So you can realize in like 5, 10 hands that someone sucks. And like the guys who have a VPIP of like 50 or 70 or 80, that becomes pretty apparent pretty quickly as well. So that's cool. So how long have you been playing poker for, career wise?
I was just playing really off and on for a long time, just really casual, not really knowing what I was doing, just like extreme micro stakes. I think started 5 years ago, and then I think a year and a half before Full Tilt got shut down, I started getting more serious. Kind of started hitting a rut though for like I was kind of like break even, just clearing bonuses and getting my profit from there. And then I saw this ad on Moshman who would do coaching for a piece of your profits.
Okay.
So it was like a profit. I thought they had to get me profitable, or else they wouldn't be making anything. And I had a coach that took quite a bit of interest in me. But he was a full ring specialist, pretty much. So it kind of put me into full ring as well. So I was pretty much like a 16 tabling, starting off at NL10, and he got me all the way up to like top end NL50, taking shots at NL100.
That's pretty
And
good.
that was until like Full Tilt got shut down, and now I've only recently started again.
So you,
Actually, randomly, funnily enough, because of finding videos of you, that I got into six max.
nice. So you worked really hard, started to get really good, and then they took all your money away from you.
Pretty much. I can laugh about it now. I was kind of sad about it at the time, though.
Oh man, it was the worst. I mean, like we didn't even know if we were going to get the money back, and everyone was stressing out.
For me, it's like just found money almost. Just actually, that's kind of what like one of my things, my issues back in the full ring days was like three betting. I was really cautious about it, and now since I'm considering it pretty much found money, I'm actually having an issue like keeping it around 8%. You know, I have a tendency to want to go higher, so now I'm
Okay.
like just I don't give a crap. Like
Yeah.
still not doing it just completely recklessly. I'm just not afraid of it anymore. Just put it like that.
Well, that's a good thing to have. Like one of the biggest difficulties that people have with poker is the fact that it's a game that's for money and they feel like the pressure of losing money or winning money, and it really affects their ability to treat it the way it should be treated, which is just like a game. You know, like you want to be able to make the best decision that you think is mathematically the correct play, even if it means you have to bluff like $100. You can't be thinking about what you could have gotten with that $100 because it's going to prevent you from being able to make that bluff. I remember Phil Ivey saying, he's like, when I got to make a big river bet, I don't think about the fact that I'm putting a Ferrari out there. I just think about the fact that this is probably going to be a profitable bet and that making this bluff is the best play, so I'm going to do it.
I think I saw that. Probably didn't help though. Like one of my favorite poker books was that every hand revealed by Gus Hansen when he won the Aussie Millions. I think learning from his thought style is probably not the most mathematically efficient way to do things.
Yeah,
Because he kind of calculates everything out, comes to the correct decision, then does the opposite because he's curious.
it's like Daniel Negreanu calling people's hands and being like, but I'll just pay to see it to make sure that I'm right.
Look, I'm right. Look how awesome I am.
Yeah.
Except I just lost the river bet. But yeah, I was just the only thing I definitely noticed, especially compared to full tilt, is like a lot of these tables are definitely fishier. Like getting finding tables with people more than over 40% into the scene, like players to flop. It's really common here. Whereas looking at full tilt, like it's more around like the top 20, mid 30s. Like there's really reggy stats. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so it's actually, but I've only been playing today, so I'm not entirely sure. Um, I'm just gonna. He's yeah, he's isolating the fish.
Yeah, three betting's fine, definitely. Yeah, those sites that have like really good reward programs and encourage people to put in the volume to move up the reward system and stuff tend to attract more grinders and therefore like a poorer quality of game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like that Gus Hansen book. I thought it was very interesting. And like the thing about that book to pay attention to is it's very good for tournaments where your goal is to win every single chip in play and take a lot of close spots. But for cash games, the strategy is to be a bit more conservative and to look more at like long run maximum expectation plays.
Well, actually, like what I liked as well is like it really showed something you've been like you showed as well in your videos, like a little bit more conservative approach at first, and then he once the antes come up, he gets really aggressive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I th-
Yeah, I've been talking to a lot of like tourney pros about that because I'm like, how do you build up the stack so that you can that guy call the flop with 2-6 suited on table one?
yes, I say he's fishy. I couldn't think of anything I could get him off of at that point, so I feared I'd be okay to show them.
Yeah. And if he's peeling with 6 high on the flop, he's probably not going to fold on the turn
I'm
if he had like a pocket pair or something.
I'm kind of shocked he actually called it pre-flop. And
Yeah.
then he calls Siba as well. That's amazing. I'm kind of wondering what he's wrong to. I guess he had a backdoor flush draw. That's something.
Yeah. I used to get really eager to peel if I like flopped a backdoor straight flush draw, especially if the first card in the window was the straight flush card. You're like, oh, it's a sign. The rest of it's coming. But it never does. Never ever.
So
But
I'm
yeah,
thinking,
I've been talking to a lot of MTT pros about like how to build the stack to, you know, be able to like really leverage people in later stage of the tournament. And they said in general, like until the antes kick in, tight conservative play is going to be the way to go. And if you bust a tourney before the antes come into play, you probably did something wrong. Was their general advice. They said like, don't worry about getting fancy until the antes are in there because then there's more money out there to go after. Damn, you would have flopped a straight. It's okay. That doesn't
If
mean
that
it.
was if that was big blind, I would definitely would have closed it. But small blind, I don't know. That's actually something I've been trying to work on because I've been spewy in the past in the small blind.
Hmm.
It's like it's only like it's not even a full call, and you can't justify it so quickly in your head. So yeah.
Yeah,
Also, like folding small pairs in the small blind, or even like the big blind sometimes as well. Like it's something I've been working on a lot, just trying to close those leaks a bit.
yeah. It's so tempting to just see a flop and hope that you can get lucky, but in reality, once you know the statistics and the odds, you realize it's pretty rare that you actually hit that set.
Yep. What is it, like 1 in a 9?
Yeah, just about 7.5 to 1. So yeah, yeah, about 1 out of 9.
Oh, kings. Let's see.
I think the software actually looks pretty nice.
It's actually I've been to get warm. Like when I heard that we were gonna get our money back, like I found this like $40 sitting on my NetTeller account,
Hmm.
and I just put it in like I had like random accounts everywhere going, and I had like this old account because I didn't want to screw up any bonus, and I saw I had this old account. Ooh, 3 bet.
I'm
I'm not sure if
thinking you should probably just 4 bet, like make it like 440 or 480 is cool. Just because,
see, this is another issue I've seen with the stuff. Like, it adds on top of your bet
right.
instead of like it doesn't show you the actual bet, but you have to do the actual math in your head.
That's a good enough
It's got
flop for you to check.
yeah. Plus, he only doesn't even have a bet behind. So
Yeah, main reason I like a 4 bet there is when you open under the gun and someone 3 bets you from the blinds, it's pretty unlikely that they're going to be bluffing. And if they're not bluffing, they're probably going to be willing to continue to a 4 bet. So we don't really need a slow play. But
I'm actually with like like a little small little bet now,
oh
like
yeah, like
three.
two. Oh yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect.
So you still has like a thought I could. Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
This guy. Well played, man.
That's actually something I learned from you. Like those little small betting, getting him to spaz out. It's been profitable. I like him.
It's amazing how often they fall for it, huh?
I don't know. I just think they have some fold equity. It's funny. Ooh, ace king. Please don't believe me.
I feel like this is the software that Prima used to be on. I remember they have the same
Oh, he's
chipping.
three betting me as well, and he's got well, it's only 28 hands, but
It's a really high 3 bet. Do you ever call here?
no.
Okay.
Out of position, no. Blind freezer blind.
Okay.
What do you think? I'm running out of time.
Well, I think you should try calling here for a couple of reasons. The first one
An
is
ace.
you're really deep stacked, which means he's going to have a bigger advantage to being in position on you. And the other one, his 3 bet is really high. So when someone has a high 3 bet, we can check here. They also usually play really aggressive post flop. And the boards they like to barrel off on are ace and king high boards, which are the boards you're going to connect on. So you can extract a lot of like bluff money from him by doing
You
this.
think keep checking, or you want to bet out now?
I
Now that you
think
check
I think
mine.
now we should bet because if he has air, he's pretty unlikely to go for a delayed continuation bet. And if he has something that he's trying to pot control and get to showdown, we want to get 2 bets in there. The main thing is just that it's tough to play a 4 bet pot out of position when you're deep stacked. Like 100 big blinds, 4 bet there 100% of the time. But once you start to get to 150 and three and like 200 big blinds deep, it's worth considering mixing it up just because the positional advantage becomes so huge.
It's a straight here after a continuation bet. I'm just gonna keep betting, I think, because I'm not sure what he's calling with.
Yep. May get paid off by a jack. He might keep calling us down with flush draw.
I wonder if I should check this. If he has the flush draw, you might do a bet.
Yeah,
Just get me off it.
Yeah.
I don't think I can raise him though, because if he's gonna raise me again, that's I'm pretty much beat.
Yeah, I think check calling is good. Other option, of course, is to go with our favorite play of betting like super small, like a fifth of the pot, so that
hmm
maybe he calls with the jack. But I think odds are if we bet again, he'll probably fold the jack. But I don't know how bad these players are.
It's such like if this was a larger sample size, I might have done a small bet because his aggression is so low. Like I'm not sure if he'd even try to get me off it.
Right.
But because it's just 25 hands, it's
Yeah.
um. Actually, I'm about calling this.
Cool. I like it. I like it.
Check fine.
You probably have the best hand.
Yeah.
I think betting is
It's
better
kind of
than checking.
drawy, so I don't like when there's a straight and impossible flush draw. I don't like to check behind.
Yeah,
Here we go.
it's smart.
But yeah, I'm still really getting used to this. It's very different to full tilt, but I do. It feels really smooth. Also, the way the tables come up and it's immediately responsive to the mouse wheel and everything. I quite like it. Only thing I don't. It's kind of cluttered. Like I can't get this bit of HUD, like the top left. I can't get it in any place where it's not hiding the like. It's kind of that's the only annoying part. But
Yeah. What's the biggest game that they offer on this site?
that's a good question. I think looks 2550 plus.
Wow.
Not too bad. This guy is pretty damn tight. When he calls my C bet, I'm not really sure if I can get him off anything. On the ace high.
Yeah. Well, let's check it down, and then if he ends up showing us something like nines or jacks, we'll make a note of that, and in the future we can try two barreling. But I'd
Old
imagine
hand.
his range for calling from the small blind is either big pairs or like ace queen. So shutting down seems cool.
Yeah, now that he bets the river him out. This table's breaking.
These
Well,
guys have the 100 rebuy on Sunday, right? That's their big tournament.
I couldn't tell you.
I,
I wish I could. I have no idea.
is Ladbrokes on this network? I I think that's where I've seen the software recently.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm
Okay.
gonna get this table away. I got a full table on the site, so
Oh, do you have two monitors?
three.
Three. Is that for gaming?
Yeah. Well, actually, I had a dual for gaming, and then hold on, this guy's.
He's very loose. We should at least call.
That's actually one of the questions I was gonna have. Like, I often hear you say like something against bad players with three betting for value, and then often you're just not gonna hit though. Like, and then I'm not exactly sure what to do.
Yeah. The most important consideration when determining whether to like three bet or call is what their opening range is, of course, and then their full to three bet. If their full to three bet's really low, that means they're going to be defending to your three bet with a lot of like junky hands, and
What do
then
you
you
think here,
can.
by the way? It's kind of drawy, and I have the two pair.
I still think we just call. He's got so many just like total air hands, given his opening range from that position, and I think we want to just let him like fire at us. The only hand that we get a lot of value from by check raising is ace jack, and he's going to keep betting that hand anyway. So yeah, they're whatever their fold to three bet is really impacts it. If it's very low, you want to widen your value range because then if you flop strong, you can extract a lot of value from dominated hands. And if their fold to three bet is very high, then you want to do more calling because if you three bet, you're gonna fold out a lot of the hands that you have in bad shape. Like his ace 10 there. If his fold to three bet's like 80 and we three bet,
hmm
he's going to fold the ace 10. But if his fold to three, so we'd call. But if his fold to three bet is like 20, then we would three bet the ace queen. So probably continue with the ace 10. And that way, if we hit an ace, we win a much bigger pot than we do by calling pre. So you really just need the sample on them to determine what the best play is. And then another consideration is whether they like to, if they're aggressive post flop, calling is a good option because you can extract a lot of value from them barreling and bluffing and betting thinly against you. And if they are very raise happy post flop, calling also becomes a good option because, like you said, even when you three bet, you still miss the flop a lot. And if your opponent's going to raise you all the time on all these awkward boards, it's going to be really tough to deal with. But if they're very just like stationy and cally, you want a three bet for value and to take control of the action so that you can get three bets of a nice size.
All right.
Yeah. I find that to be one of the toughest positions, honestly. Ace queen facing an early position raise. Like,
Actually, here now, I isolate the limping fish kind of. I do a C bet on this board, and he check raises me.
I think we just have to fold because he's probably going to keep betting at us. Looking at his aggression of 6.7, next time we get into this situation, I would advise just checking back the flop and then calling turn and maybe calling river. Because when you flop a pair of aces on that kind of board, there's not that much you have to protect against. It's not like if you flopped top pair on a 9-3-3 board where a lot of overcards can come to put you in a bad position. Like, if you have him beat, it's almost impossible for him to outdraw you on that board. Um, but at the same time, he's not going to call down three streets with a worse ace. So by checking back and just playing the pot for like two streets, we get the same amount of value from.
Super nits dunking into me.
I'd just get the money in. He's only got 20 big blinds and you have an overpair.
Yeah. Ran out of time, so my bit's not entirely optimal.
It's all good.
Yeah, my talking and playing has never been my strong suit. So
It's good. We're training everyone who's watching the show to be able to speak their thoughts while they play. And then we'll be making better decisions because we'll know why we're doing them.
it's kind of the opposite of what I used to be doing anyway. Because I was a complete like on 16 tables, I often just had like either 2 or 4 tables visible and then like whole bunch stacked behind, and I was a complete HUD monkey.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm actually trying to like train myself to actively watch what's going on and where people are making bad decisions.
Mm-hmm.
It's the complete opposite of what I used to be doing. I was completely relying on HUD.
I mean, the full ring game, that was kind of the way to go, right? Identify who the two fish are and then just beat them with stats.
Yeah, and I found the rigs were actually pretty easily exploitable because it was such a straightforward game. Uh, if you even had remotely reasonable stats, especially like I had ridiculous turn aggression. Like I had way higher turn aggression than like river or flop, and just put them on such awkward spots. Most of the regs would just fold, and you could like it's easily exploitable.
Yeah. My strategy when I first started playing full ring and I made most of my money was play really tight. I think my stats were like 8-6 and eventually
Wow.
10-8 and just bet like C bet and bet for value. And if you ever get raised, fold. Unless you unless I had like two pair or better. If I ever got raised, I would just fold.
Pretty much actually what I would do.
Yeah. And the crazy thing
If you
was,
get raised, that's bad news in full ring.
yeah. And the crazy thing was using that strategy, even playing just like super tight and playing eight tables at a time. I had a 50K month at 510 when on game used to run full ring.
Wow.
It's just like even like I'd play so tight and people would still spaz out against me.
I thought I played tight at 13-11.
Yeah. Well, these days I think 13-11's tight and 10-8's probably not profitable anymore. But back then people were just bad enough that could get away with it.
I have no idea what this guy's gonna do to 3-bet yet. I'm actually kind of tempted.
Cool. Put you So, what games are you into?
You mean outside of poker?
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of the viewers are gamers too.
I was a professional FPS 1v1 specialist in the Quake 2, 3, and 4. So it's really fast-paced FPS gaming. Like what's pretty much what's Quake Live now. A lot of people still play that. I played that for 9 years, pretty much, and then some family circumstances forced me to retire from that. That's when I took poker.
Okay, gotcha. Is the esports community really big over in Europe?
At the time, it was huge. Um, I think the problem is the level got so high. It's for new players, it's really hard to still start now because you get pretty much demolished for 2 years straight. So that's how pretty much the community will die. But it used to be really, really big. I mean, you had tournaments for like 40, $100,000 like first prize. So
Wow,
yeah,
that's crazy. I think there are like no esports in North America. It's like a non-existent thing.
actually, Americans used to be really good.
Yeah. Are were all the competitions over in Europe and Asia though? Maybe that's what it was.
Well, I mean, Asia is generally RTS, where like America and Europe generally are is FPS. So in Asia, you get a lot of StarCraft, Warcraft, stuff like that, where you have a lot more first-person shooters in Europe and North America. I'm
Okay.
just gonna isolate him. I think King 10's way out of his limping range.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
But yeah, that's definitely been for me in terms of poker. It's been the big thing, like getting used to the six mechs dynamics. Like the games has evolved since I've started playing, since I've stopped playing as well. Plus the game transition. But if you want to do a full ring, you only really have stars uh, or FTP really to choose from because you can't six table anywhere else.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna get anyone off.
No, that's a good board for them to be playing back at you on. A lot of people hit a piece.
Actually tempted to barrel that.
Then go for it.
Oh, it's against two, but it does. I'm just gonna go for him. I'm not gonna win it otherwise.
I mean, you can always hit a eight worst case scenario. Maybe he's got a flush draw and king high is the best hand. Oh, well, no, that wouldn't really work anymore.
No. Yeah, I'm just gonna shut it down.
Yeah.
Yep, I don't think I was gonna get him off that.
You called your raise with ace three offsuit. Very ambitious.
Yep.
Are all the tables on this site anonymous? Are there any like regular cash tables?
Um, you see all the green ones? They're normal tables.
Okay, cool. Cool. So people can play on this site if they want and not be forced to do this
Yeah.
anonymous stuff.
If you want a mass table though, it's gonna be difficult to just like play the regulars. But man, there's a good couple tables.
I wonder, actually, if you're like mass tabling, if you get a big enough sample, if you can figure out who is the same player on multiple tables, because they'd have like similar statistics.
I think so.
That'd be a lot of work, though.
Yeah, you'd have to put in quite the session, I think, because I know my stats will be very wildly between tables. All right, that's even though this is so dry, they're both checking.
Lead for pot. If someone had a nine, they'd probably bet it on the flop. So,
Just
pretty
gonna take
decent
the.
chance we have it. And also, you got outs like that one.
And now they're eight. I don't know if I should check, call, or bet.
I
Because
think
I think. Go
betting's
on.
probably better because if he has a nine, he's not too likely to go for a thin value bet when the flush gets there and when the eight trips up. But he would definitely call with a nine. Also, if he has a flush, he's always going to raise you, so you can bet fold and the same result.
Wow.
He's probably going to bet with that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think I was gonna be either like a check, call, or a bet fold because I couldn't stand the raise there. Seeing the flush and the straight was out there.